There's a lag. I can't hear you. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, see. All right. Good evening, everyone. Uh, Happy Sunday. I hope you all had a restful day. It was nice seeing everyone yesterday. I saw Chinozu for the first time yesterday. Alexandra, so many other people. I also saw Emmanuel. All right. So I know you might have some little rest to catch up with because yesterday was a bit stressful. So putting that into consideration, we won't take much of your time today. So I want us to just use 1 hour for our training today. At least if we exceed 1 hour, it should be by 15 minutes. Please let us all comply. I don't want us to spend up to 3 hours on the call. Please, we have to prepare tomorrow for work. So we are almost getting to the finishing line of this training. Today, focus should be the Allure and GitHub. I want to be that most people on this call are familiar with setting up GitHub. I think to keep the I'll just suggest that I think after the class, we'll just drop a link on the WhatsApp chat for the person to follow through and set up their GitHub account. So, and next week will be the last week of the training. So there will be a bonus track, which is Cypress MC using Cypress MCP server. So the session won't be recorded. So you need to be in attendance to gain from the bonus track. So let's just get started. Mr. Wale, I think you can take it up from air. All right. Have a great time.
Hello. Good evening. Please confirm you can hear me. Hello. Okay. Cool. So today we'll be touching on basically three topics. How we can use Allure reports in Cypress. Uh, a little bit about GitHub and GitHub Actions. Okay. So we'll not be doing much today. We'll be also exploring. I mean, using the same URL that we were using the last time. Yeah, that's just it. So I'm going to switch to my IDE here and show us what we did the last time. Okay, one sec, please. Okay, cool. So,
Sorry, good evening. Please, can you zoom in a bit? It's kind of tiny from here. I don't know if anybody can see it properly. Your screen, please.
hang on. Just want to be sure that I'm sharing the correct screen. Is it still the same?
Yes, it's still the same. I don't know if it's the same for every other person, but
How
for
about
here,
now?
it's a bit. Yes, it's maybe a bit. Zoom in a bit more. Okay, come. I can manage this.
I,
Okay.
yeah. I think you should check out your screen. I'm on a regular screen and it's going to be coming to you just the way that it is right here. That one was too big. I can't work with that. You can, however, decide to like zoom in on your side or check the resolution that your computer is using.
No, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Thank.
All right, cool. It looks like that orange HRM is fine now. I will I will switch to our code, the one that we use with that to explain reporter, Allure report. One sec. Upcoming results. The reason why I want to do that is because this has, I think, multiple tests inside of it. The other one has only one test, but it's all the same. So, let's get started. Right. So, like I explained last time, you need a reporter, something that can that you can display, that you can show to explain what your test is doing, okay, to anybody that wants to look at it, so that you can show which test pass, which test fails, or whichever thing that you want to do, right? And that is exactly what I'm going to work on today. Today, there are a lot of reporters that you can use, by the way. We are just choosing Allure because it has more options and it's kind of built in into JS based framework like Cypress. It's easier to use. And I mean, yeah, there is also Mocha Awesome that you can use with Cypress. It follows the same way, but I'll show you how you can use any kind of reporter that you want to use with Cypress. But our focus today will be on Allure. All right, so say you want to do Allure, the first thing you want to do is to make sure that you understand how it works and know how you can apply it to your own framework. And the way you can do that is to look at the docs, the documentation. So in this case, we've always checked out the documentation. For Cypress, we went to cypress.io, then went to the doc section to understand how we can install and how we can write tests. And there are other tutorials on that site also. The same way, if we want to use Allure Reporter for Cypress, we can also search for it. So I'm just doing this so that you understand how you can get information, anything that you want off the internet. There's a lot of sources that you can use. You just have to put the right thing there. It's just like prompting an AI. That's the way search is these days. So say I want to do that now, I just write Allure, report with Cypress, and I press enter. And as you can see, it brings up a page for me that goes to the Allure report and then docs, then Cypress. So there's an integration of Allure with Cypress and it has been well documented. So from here, just open this page and then we can follow the um the steps here to do this. So just like Cypress, Allure is also a an npm package. That's Yeah, it's an npm package. You can actually download it using npm. You can use yarn or pnpm, but I'm going to use npm because that's what we've been using so far. I'm going to copy this, but before I do that, let's just look at what the prerequisites, which I'm sure that almost all of us will have it for now. We have Node.js. If you don't have Node.js, you will not be able to do anything on Cypress. So I'm fairly sure that everybody has Node.js installed. Right, so you go to terminal, go to navigate to your project directory, which is easy for us because once we enter Node.js, we can VS Code, we can just open the terminal and then we'll be inside our project directory. All right. And then I will install Allure Cypress. Okay. This is the step number 3 is making sure that we have Allure report installed. If not, follow the installation instruction. All right. So, interesting. I've never seen this. So let's look at the installation instructions. I've opened it in a new tab because I'm using Windows. I'm picking up on Windows. So you can do this. You can do this, but I didn't know that this was going to require us to have Java. Or we are going to do one thing. We are going to be brave. We'll try to. Excuse me, one sec, please. Yes, someone's. We'll try to do this without any Java configuration. But if you guys have problem with the Allure report I'm about to teach, then I'm going to briefly show you how you can do this on your computers. I'm going to be focused on Windows, but if you need details about Mac, just reach out to Madinike. I'll drop a video with how you can install Java and set environment variable for Java. All right, this is speaking of Java 8. We are currently at Java 24. Anyways, so I'm going to copy this out. I think I did that the other time. I'm going to go to the project, and the moment we go to the terminal, you'll be inside your project directory, and I'm going to paste this here, and then I'll run this. This is going to install Allure Cypress for us, and it's going to put it inside the dev dependencies here, just below this. It's going to put it there. All right. So while it's doing that, let's go ahead and look at the other things that we want to look at here. So after we install, it's going to tell it, I mean, the instruction now is telling us to go to our E2E end-to-end folder. All right, and define a setup node event function that calls Allure Cypress as shown in the example. So there's an E2E file that comes with a Cypress. I'm going to go ahead and open it here, this one right here. But I guess this instruction is kind of old, right? Let me check out the version. Because right now I don't have to do this here. I can do it inside the configuration, Cypress config here. This is where it is right now. So this is where we're going to do it inside Cypress config. So yeah, so yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. Yeah, Cypress config script. So we are going to define this, and we are going to ask it to push the results of the test to this location. All right, this is just stating the location, specifying the location of the result when after we've run our test. And of course, we can put it at any location that we want. Okay. Let me check out this if it has finished installing. It's still going. Okay, so and after that, we're going to import our Cypress into our support file. Then we can run our test. After we run our test, the report will be generated, and we can then use this to open the report. Okay, it's that easy. It doesn't require much configurations. All you have to do is to put the file to download the dependencies. Once you download it, you do the configuration. The configuration can be things you want to state about how the report should be presented. If you want to add some environment variables and all of those things, you can do it there. So I'm just using start to wait for the reporter to get installed, to finish installing, so that we can move on there. But guys, so far so good. How has it been?
Good evening, Mr. Wale.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's been so wonderful, honestly. Um, I gain a lot. In fact, it's like as if it's so simple and it's easy with the way you've been, tutoring us all this while. So I lay my hands on Source Lab, so I was able to test from the first page to cart. Then when I install that Copilot, it's trying to like giving me some hints, like if I'm missing something, it's trying to guide me what I need to do, what I need to write. Sometimes it suggests I check if that's what I need. If not, I try to change it to suit what I need to do. But so far, so good for me. It's been good, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm going along with it. Thank you.
That's good. That's great. That's great. So, one thing I would say though is that if you want this to stick, you have to practice. I mean, evolution, there's law of use and disuse. If there's a part of your body that you don't use, it would just wither away. It's the same with knowledge. If you get a new knowledge today and you don't practice, you don't use it, it will go away. You forget it. So the more you use it, the more it becomes a part of you. The more you are able to master it. Right. So that's what I would say. You keep on practicing. If you are working in a place where maybe you guys don't do automation, you can start on your own, see how it goes. And part of what we are going to learn today would be maybe a small part of the CI/CD that you can actually use on your own to run your tests, which means that the test don't have to run on your computer. It can run on another computer, on another something, another computer, so to speak, on the cloud, and you will still have the same result, which means that you can time it. You can ask it to be running 2 times, 3 times a day and be feeding you reports without you even starting it or doing anything. You just get the report. So that's it. That is very useful, right? So this has been installed. If I go to our package.json, you see now that Cypress is now here. I want to install something else, which is not here. Where's our doc? Which is not here. So our instruction is just for us to install Allure Cypress. I'm going to install something called Allure CLI, I believe. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Is
please. I
my
can
screen?
see your screen.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to install something called Allure CLI. It's going to allow us to run commands with Allure. We just write Allure, then we start typing anything that we want, or any command that is acceptable. Much the way that we are writing npm, then done something. And that's because we've installed npm before. So now we're going to also install Allure CLI. So one sec, please. Let me get that command. Allow command line here. I think is something install allow command. Yeah, command line. Okay. It. Okay. While this is going on, let's get on with the uh with the with the configuration. So I decided to split my screen into two so that we can at least manage the screen real estate. All right, so Allure is Cypress. Allure command line has been installed. 2.34.1. Not bad. Okay, so next one, let's go to our E2E, which is inside the configuration here, and we'll do the same thing that is expected of us to do. So inside here, we can have okay, it's inside the event node that will then have Allure Cypress. Okay, I think the first thing that we need to do is to import Allure Cypress from Allure Cypress reporter. Okay, so then we can come here and do this. Yes, Allure Cypress, and this config. I want to do results. So there's a lot of things that we can do here. Well, let's do result directory first. Okay. And we have the power to change. Excuse me. We have the power to change the location here. Let's say we want to put it in a location within Cypress here, right? But we want to create a folder inside the Cypress called maybe reports. And then inside it, we want to put our report inside. So we can have inside here, we can have Cypress. Then inside here, we can have reports. Then we can then have Allure reports. But I'm going to remove this Allure reports. It's an extra folder that I don't want. So inside this report, then we'll have this use label. Why is that? It's because of this guy. All right. Okay, so we ask it to restore config. And this is telling me, okay. Saying that I have an error somewhere. Okay, cool. So
Okay.
All right, so this is okay. Um, what else are we supposed to do? We're supposed to import this guy inside our support file, end-to-end support, end-to-end here. Okay. All right, so let's give it our first spin. Let's see what happens. So I want to run this test. Let's run it on the command line instead. And AX Cypress run. So it has problem with our config file. Let's look at it critically and see if we have made any mistake. Well, so I have the config file open somewhere. I have a monitor here, so I'll just compare it. Cypress on config this results. They are connected to one some config. 1, 2, 3, result. So let me look at the error very well because I don't see anything here. Why is not defined? Yeah, it should still give me an error, right? There is no emoji. So um, this is the issue. These are the issues. So this is one thing I don't want to delve into. The way JavaScript imports files. There is one before ES6 and there is one after ES6. These two are ways of importing in JS. There's require and then you can do import. So I guess it's not seeing this file as a module. Let me try to import using the technique here. Looks like it's working as it should. I just need to start running my tests. So why we're just waiting for this one to start working, to start running the test. Oh, Okay. It's running the test. It's going to run it headless, meaning that we will not see a browser pop up. If we want to do that, we can run it headed, and it's still the same thing. It will start running. By the way, on the command line, what you're looking at is a form of report also. It's running two test file for us. This first test and then this spec.cy. This first test, there's nothing there, but this spec is where our report, our tests are. So you can see on here is already displaying the results here. Everything is 0. All right, and it actually tried to capture a video, and it saved it in this place. And if I actually go there, I will look at it. So if there's an error, it will capture a video and you see it. Right. So this is a form of report on its own. So let's go to this location, Cypress and videos. Yeah, as you can see, there's a video here. This is what happened then. Nothing. This also is still working on this file, and that's the reason why I have this error. Wow, I have a lot of people in the so sorry, I'm going to cancel this. If you want to cancel it, you can press Control-C, both for Windows and Mac. It will cancel it. I'm just going to do the open so that I'll see what is going on. We all understand what I'm doing, right? We've done all of this before. I'll convert come to find or not to object. So there's an error. But I want to see if it's actually generating a report. Okay, let's give it a second, a minute actually, so that it will come up with an error. Maybe we'll change back to the site we're using before. They might have changed some things here because I understand that the site was down for a couple of days. and I don't want to go into troubleshooting why anything is happening. So our focus today is their reporters, GitHub, and yeah, GitHub Actions. Alright. Sorry guys, I have to switch over to the other one. Look like I just wasted my time.
Sorry, I have a question. I have my hand raised since now.
Sorry, go on, Chinonso.
Okay, so is it that for every project, right, we have to install the Allure reporter every time the way I just wanted to confirm for every project you have to install the Allure reporter, or once you have your config file, you can just copy and paste it there, or how do you go about it?
No, if you are starting a new project and you are using npm, you would have to
Yeah,
you have to install it. Yeah. And that's what I'm about to do now. Because I just switched the project to the source lab one that we used last week. And I will have to do this again. I have to
okay.
install again. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, it's faster now, but you'd have to do it again. Okay. Let me quickly put the this thing there, the configuration there. Oh, sorry about that. So just taking off my eyes. Yeah, that's okay. So go to sports to time. Cypress. I'm running the report edit now. I mean the test edit now, so it should pop up a browser for us. All right, so there we go. Okay, so we finished running it, and we have some failures. Maybe one failure, yeah. The report is here, but it will come as in form of a JSON file, JSON files, plural. Okay, but if you remember from what we have here, let me go back here. From what we have here, when we want to check the report, it asks us to write this report, to run this. Now let me see if I can run this report. Because if you see, it starts with Allure, which means that you must have installed something that will understand this command on your computer. So I did try to install something, but let's see if it works. All right, so it doesn't understand it. Okay, it doesn't understand it. As you can see, it says Allure command not found. All right, so it's not a problem. Let's run what's it called, the install that I did the other time. This one. We are going to run a global. Okay, by putting a -G there. All right. Now let's run that report again. See what's going to happen. But I had it here. Okay, so now you can see that it now recognizes it and it's generating the report. Okay, and it's saving the report on my other screen. I'm going to bring it to this screen. Okay, this is it. So you can see that we can see the report that the reports from here. You can see the one that failed. Verify that user is able to log in with correct credentials. That was the one that failed. And this is the error that I came up with. And you can see the other ones that pass. Verify user is unable to log in with valid username and invalid password. Then if you want to go back, check out the suit. This one is add item. This is just one test. If you remember, in our test file here, I'm going to close this up so that it doesn't get confusing. Inside here, you'll see that we have this one right here. This cart is a single test inside a single describe block. And the test is just one each block, the one that we did the last time that that was the last thing we did before we close off for that day. That's just one test. But inside the login, we have how many tests? 3 tests. So I categorized it just like that. It categorized it just like that. If you look at the overview, you have 2 tests. And what you are seeing here is the describe block. Login page test, add item to cart, and checkout. That is the describe. You see, login test. And that's why I said that the name that you give it is very important so that you'll be able to know which batch of tests you are running. And then cart here, you didn't display it in cart, but it displayed the what we put on here. And for each of the tests, their topic is going to be what you put inside this it block. And if I go back to the test, you see that also. And that's what we have here. So you understand each of those tests that you are running. So that is the brief way of doing it. Let me show you the command that I use to bring in Allure again. Right, so we have the Allure Cypress, npm install Allure Cypress, and then there's another one that we install that is for the Allure command line, which is this guy here, npm install Allure Cypress. This one, npm install Allure command line. Right, so I installed it based on this project alone at first. All right, so I'm coming. Let me just finish my thoughts. So I installed this. I installed it based on this project, and that's the reason why it didn't work at first, because I did npm install. This is it, and I install and save it on this project. All right. So my system does not understand that there is a command line tool called Allure that is being what's it called, installed. But the next thing I did is to install it globally on this computer. So it will go into all the files and folders in this computer that is supposed to be, especially where npm is actually installed on your computer, so that your computer will understand this command line. So there will be a file that will be dropped there where your computer can reach out to whenever it sees anything that starts with Allure, any command that starts with Allure. So this -g means global. Okay. All right, so please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just wondering, right? So after generating this report, I believe it's not just for my consumption. How do I share these reports? Because when I checked the screen, I saw your local IP. If you share the link, is it clickable? How do we now share the reports?
Okay, that's the next part that I want to get to. So
Okay.
you can generate this report as an HTML file that can be shareable. So there are 2 ways, right? The first one, you can generate as an HTML file, but it will maybe I should do that. It will give you, I don't want to go the long route. Let me just explain it so that we don't waste much of our time there, because that's not our bus stop. So when you generate it first, it will generate everything for you. It will generate the HTML report in one. It will generate give you a folder. And then inside that folder, you will have the HTML, the CSS, and some other metadata and some things that will enhance the report, that will make it look very graphic. Because if you see here right now, when I generated the report, uh, the report was generated inside a temp folder on my computer, as you can see here. But if I go to this, I can actually go here and see the report file. Okay, let me quickly do that. So, uh, C drive. C drive users, my user. Then if you go to app data, this is an hidden folder. You have to like be able to see your hidden folder before you can go here, but you will not need to be going here. When I'm done with what I want to do, then you can go to temp. Because I don't want to be looking around. This is today. This is supposed to be the one. It's not. How does it end? 506. Right, this is it. If you go in here, there is an Allure report. Now, this is how it will generate it for you normally. If you go here, you will see a lot of things here. This is the HTML file, there's CSS somewhere, this is style, CSS. You see all of those things here. Okay, but if you want to share this now, it's going to be a bit of an hassle because how do you want to share this file just for someone to view your report? If you share only HTML alone, it's not going to be readable. It's just going to be somehow. All right, so there's a way you can generate this actually in your report, in your file working directory. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to go into the suite one, the one that will generate just a single file, an HTML file, a single file that is shareable, that doesn't come with a lot of all of this. So there is something that you can write for that. There's a script that you can write for that. I'm going to write it on the command line, and also I will show you how you can run script on your. I'll just quickly show that how you can write script on your folder here using the package.json without yeah, and then you give it an alias. You can just call that alias and it will run the whole script for you. All right, so this thing is Allure generate, right? Then what you want is dash that single file, a single dash file rather. Then first off, you will need to tell it where the JSON file is, which is the Allure results. That's this guy here. Okay, right. Now you want to save it, the output. You then give it the where you want to save it. So for the output, let's say we want to go into the Cypress folder. Sorry, go back, go back, go back. We want to go into Cypress folder. And then inside Cypress folder, I want to create a folder called reports. Okay. Yeah, that's it. You can put this this there, an option there to clean. So if I run this now, it's supposed to generate that report as a single file for me. Okay. So you see that it has generated it there, and you can see that a new folder has been created called reports, just as I wanted. If I open it, it will just be a single HTML file. And this is the same as what I opened the other time. So let me open it. You can install this extension from you can install this extension, live server. It helps you to run your file. This is coming up on another screen again. Let me bring it here. So you see that it's the same thing as what we had before. The only thing now is that it is shareable and it's just one file. Okay. Now, I hope that is clear.
I'm still kind of not get my own is that sharing the file is my challenge now. So now you say it's now shareable. We have the index.html file, right? So which one are we sharing? Is it this index.html file or the link when you open it with the live
You are not,
the
yeah,
extension there oh,
you are not sharing the link unless you are working with maybe a CI/CD tool that can help you host this on a link. That's possible. But for
so
now,
is this HTML file that we're sharing?
yes, you can share this.
Mm.
You can share this for
Ah,
now. There are other levels to it later. Yeah.
this is still kind of far from what I'm expecting. Uh, okay, yeah, okay, let's move on. Probably there's other reporters that we can explore.
What are you
Mm.
looking for? That someone just click on a link and it will take them there, right?
Like in Selenium, right?
Mm.
Um, you can download the PDF that you can send out. You can share the HTML file that you can send out
Is it not the same thing that we're
as a
talking
link.
about here? As a link.
Sorry? Yes.
You have to show me that Selenium where you can generate report and you can send it out as a link. Because whatever it is, you are running this on your local. You don't have a public IP address and a hosted service that you are using for your running for your automation right now. It's still on your local. So of course everything will still be on your local. So unless you want to tell me that 120.0.0.1 is accessible over the internet, which is not possible because everybody that has a computer has a local host address, which is 127.0.0.1. All right. So if you want to host it, maybe you are running on a CI/CD pipeline that is already hosted somewhere, maybe within Jenkins or within your GitHub enterprise. Then you can have a link that is shareable within your organization. All right. Ushodi, you have a question?
Yes, good evening. So my question is that I noticed in the Allure report that one of our negative tests showed green, like it passed. So that one is a bit confusing. I thought it should fail.
No, 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 no,
The
no,
one
no.
with valid
No.
username.
Uh,
Yes,
this
this one.
this one, Abby.
This two. Yeah, the two.
Okay, the two. No, they should pass.
Yes.
Because yes, they should pass. I understand your confusion. What we're testing is that we are not able to log in with wrong credentials, really. Okay, and what we validated on the page is that there is a message that comes out that says user and password do not match any user in this service. So Cypress is able to see this message on the screen and pass it. If, for instance, we're able to log in, then this test will fail because we will not be able to see this message on the screen. Do you understand? So when we say
Yes.
negative test cases, doesn't mean that the report has to come out as failed, because that would be a false negative. For anybody that is looking at the report, they will just go like, so user is now able to log in into our page without the right credentials, because that's what it's going to mean. So just look at it and twist it the other way around. What we are validating is that we are validating error message
The error
on the
message.
website. If that error message
Okay.
exists, then a test pass.
Okay, but if we click on the two negative tests now, are we going to see like more information that it is the error message that we validated?
Yes, I'm clicking on one of them right now, and the assert is this. He's
Okay, okay,
expecting
yes.
he expecting this to include this. So you will see that assertion there.
Okay. Thank you so much. I get it now.
Okay.
But why is this number one now fail? This
Uh-huh.
positive.
Uh, that is what I don't know yet. It's saying something is not clickable, and yeah, and it's giving me the screenshots of what
Mm.
happened. So should be able to, this is just login. Okay, okay. So it's able to actually log in as you can see. The only thing is that there's something that is running after the assertion. Assertion, it was correct. After the assertion, we're doing something that is not there. Is not there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can just look at it and we should be able to find out.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just confirmed that it's same .html. Only thing you have to do is the same thing. Yes, I just confirmed now. You just have to open with browser and it's the same thing. But for Selenium, there's this extent report that you can also download PDF. I don't know if Cypress has that.
I don't know if they have that. I can look at it, but that's not our focus right now. You can make
Oh,
those research on your own.
all right. All right, thanks.
Adenike Taiwo, you have a question? Okay. All right. So I found the culprit. We did some other things here. I think maybe I was using it to explain the clickable thing. That's the reason why I failed this line here. If you remember that day, I was doing something about clickable or non-clickable elements. That's the reason why I failed. So this is the real test. This is the assertion that the page product page logo should exist. If I run it again now, it shouldn't give us any issues. So that is it on one side, but let me quickly show you something before we move on to the rest of the thing. On your page, on your packet.json file, you will see something here that's a section, you see a section called script. On this script now, you can start testing from here and you can put your, what's it called, a script here for you to run. For instance, now if you want to test, um, what we just did now, let's say we want to test it headed. We want to let the screen show when we are testing. We can do something like, let me stop this from suggesting to me. It usually confuses me, especially if I know what to do. So I want to do, I'm going to write tests and I'm going to say, I'm bad with naming things. So this is a name. So what we want to do inside this script is that we want to run npx cypress, right? Run. That is run all the tests. And I want to run it edit. Okay. So if I go to, once I do this, please make sure that you are saving. If you are not, if you are someone like me that usually forgets to save file, make sure you enable auto save here on that file. So once you do that, you can then run npm run, then the name of the script, which is test dash dash edit. So if you press enter on this, it's going to run everything that you have here for you. So it's going to run the test for you basically. Okay. And it's already doing that. Now, while it's doing that, because of time, I would expand this a little bit. Under this same line, let's say after it runs, I want it to generate a report for me. That same Allure report that we did the other time, I want it to generate a report for me. Then I can chain it. How do I chain it? I can use a double and what's it called, sign. And then I can write a new command. So after it runs this first one, then it will run the second one. And the second one that I want to run is I want it to generate the report for us in an HTML file. All right, so it's running the test edit for us. I'm going to go back to the code to continue writing what I was writing. All right, allow generate. Then I want to do single file. All right. the location of this thing is Allure results. The location of the JSON file at and then we want the output to be in what did we do the other time? We did Cypress. Cypress, and then we go into reports. Okay. Now, as you can see, the report has finished running. Now, if I run this again, let me delete this whole report generally. I'm going to delete it. Okay, and I'm going to run that command again. So this command now, once I run it, it's going to run the tests and then generate the report for me in just one single command. If you have other options of the test that you want to run, maybe you want to specify, maybe let's say just one part of the test or several parts of the test, you can remove it. Like you can write it as a script here. And this is also good for your CI/CD. Probably this could be the entry to your test script. So this can be the what's it called, the command that you will run that will run all the things that you want for you. Okay. So this is running the report, the thing again, and it will generate the reports just after the test. All right, the report has finished. Oh, okay. Okay. We have an error, but it's not a problem really. It's not a problem really. So as you can see, the report. Oh, the report got generated. I mean, what's it called? Um the test runs, and I'll just manually do this. But I do not want to stay much on this one because we have a lot of things to do. So I manually generated the report. And if I open it, you will see that everything should pass. As you can see, everything passed. And the good thing about this Allure report is that it's able to give you trend. It's able to give you history of your tests. Okay. So this is not giving me any history only because I've used -- somewhere. So if you don't use clean, it will still be saving your records. So you'll be able to even go back in time to look at the trend of your result and everything. So I'm going to peg it here. I would like you to perform more research on this thing by yourself. But this should open you up to the possibilities of what this is. So I'm going to briefly talk about GitHub, and I'm going to push our repo. I'm going to push what we've been working on to a repo that you can look at, like all the code that I've been working on, you can actually download it and use it. So, briefly, just go ahead and do that. If you don't have a GitHub account, it's best that you open one. Okay. Um, the address is github.com. GitHub is like a how do I say this? It's like a hub, right? It's like where you put your project, and it's not just being used by developers or testers or QAs alone. It can be used by anybody. It's a version control platform, really. So the version control part of it is called Git. And Git exists not only in GitHub alone. You can have Git on your local. You can have Git on other platforms like Bitbucket, like Azure DevOps, like there are plenty. So, so what I'm trying to say is that GitHub is a platform now that hosts Git. Git is a version control system that was designed some time ago by someone. If I can find the what's it called, the details about it, I can give you, but it's something that you can look up on the internet. Okay. One sec. I have a multi-factor authentication somewhere. Oh, okay. So this is my own Git. All right. And yeah, it's more like Git and some social media stuff now because I have friends that are developers, QAs and everything. So it usually will tell me their feeds, what they are working on. Okay. So um you can open an account here, but what I'm going to do now is to create a repo in a repo for our um for the new things that we're working on. So repo is simply like a folder for your work. I've moved on to explain. Now I'm explaining what Git does for you and GitHub. All these things I'm doing now, creating a repo and everything, you can create it on any platform that supports Git. Okay. But the unique thing about Git is that it tracks your movement. It tracks the things that you do. So if today now you work on a piece of code, maybe for login, and you push it to GitHub, and tomorrow you work on the dashboard page and you push it to GitHub, you will have it on your local. Like the last thing that you did is, well, you work on the dashboard, but maybe the work that you did on the dashboard, you don't like it. You want to start all over again, but you don't want to start from scratch. You want to go back to where you were yesterday when you just finished working on login code. GitHub gives you the advantage of going back in time and access the way that your working folder and directories, how they look like at that point yesterday where you want to go to. If you can do that. It also gives you the opportunity to collaborate better with other developers or QA engineers or anybody, as a matter of fact, which means that we can start a project today and I say that, okay, I'm taking in login, you are taking in dashboard, another person is taking in the purchase page. So instead of a single person writing everything, we can share the load. And when we are done with what we are doing, we can then combine our codes and run it as one code. All right. That gives us that advantage by using branching. There's something called branch in Git. I would not be able to explain all of these things, but I'll give you material that you can read and some other commands, some Git command that you can use. So first of all, you need to install Git on your computer. You can go to a new tab and search for, just write download Git and press enter. It will take you to something like this, git-scm.com. That is the one that you have to go to. So if you go here, you can download anyone that's compatible with your operating system. All right, so if it is Windows, I can choose Windows and download for Windows. If you are using Mac OS, you can download for Mac OS using Homebrew, or you can use Xcode actually also to do it. But yeah, you can go ahead and look at it, but you have to download it. And if you guys notice, if you notice, when I want to start a new command line here, there's a git bash here for me. It also comes with that git. It's a command line, comes with that git for you. So you have to install it first. Once you install it, then you can be using it on your local. But you can do this, what I'm doing right now, without installing Git first. So for you, most likely you will have your name here. But because me, I have a lot of organization that I've worked with, and they all create their own bit of things, a bit of space. So they have to add you to that space and it will show up here. So I want to create a repo, and it's asking me which one that I want to create it with. So I picked up my own name as the one that I want to create it with. I'm going to name this one Source Labs because that's what we are automating, right? And it says available. You can put a description here, but I would advise not to put anything here. I advise not to put anything here if you are creating a blank repo. So I'm creating a blank repo. There's a visibility here. Do I want to make it public or I want to make it private? If I make it private, nobody will be able to reach it. I'll be the only one that can look at it. But I can give other people access if they want to also check it out. If I want them to collaborate with me on that repo, I can give them access to do so. Okay, so I'm going to first create it as private. I'll make it public so that you guys can also look at it and maybe clone the repository and start working on it on your own computer. So you will have exact replica of the code that I've worked on your own computer also. Now I'm going to create it as private, and I'll click on create repository. Once I do that, it's going to give me some commands, because right now it's empty. It has created it, and you can see it as Source Labs here, and you can see a padlock here, which signifies that it's a private repo. Right. So there are two ways that you can work with this guy. You can work with SSH and HTTPS, but I'm going to work with the HTTPS for now. Maybe when we get to the part of the CI/CD part, I can talk more about the SSH. We're going to work on the HTTPS. This is how it looks like. You start with HTTPS and this and this and this and this, like that. So it's normal template for a URL. If you go to SSH, you see that it's kind of different, right? You start with GitHub at GitHub. So I'm going to go back to HTTPS. Right. So it gives us some, like, two things here, right? First one is when you are creating a new repository, right? And you are just working on it for the first time. Second one is you have a repository that you are working on. You have a repository that you are working on, and you just want to push it to Git. So see, as we have this here on our computer now, on our local, that we have all these files and folders here, we are going to have it also on the remote end, which is on Git end. This one here, it will be the same thing. Okay, that is what it's asking us to do. It's asking us for the second one. Do we have something that we're working on currently and we want to just push it up to Git so that we can have it version controlled? Or are we just starting a new thing from scratch? That is the ask. Now, we have something, so we are going to make use of this second option. Okay, so I'm just going to copy what we have here. I can explain the command as I type it or as I run it for you. So I'll go to our project. Inside our working directory, I'll paste this here. That is git every command that you are running will start with git. And that means you must have installed git. Because if you don't install it, it will tell you that it doesn't understand the command that you are issuing. Much like the way that it happened when we are running Allure at first, when I had not installed it globally. Okay. So please 1 second. All right, sorry about that. So it's saying that now we want to add a remote origin that is at this address. That is our GitHub repo. We want to add it to our project. And once I press it, it's supposed to work, but it did not work. Let me see if I can run it again so that you see the error. Let me widen this up. It did not work. It says that we don't have a Git repository initiated here. So which means that this does not have any, it's not a Git repository. And you can know that if you go to the file itself where we saved our work. So this is the source lab folder here. If I open it up, I don't have anything that is called Git here. So, but if you want to see it, it's actually an hidden folder. You have to go to view if you're using a Windows and go to show and then check this show hidden files for you to show hidden files. But it's not here yet. But the moment I run one command here, it will come there, which is git init, much like the way that we did npm init the other time. So once you do git init, it's going to initialize this as a Git repository. Then if I come back here, you will see a .git here. It's an hidden folder. You see it here. So now it's now a Git repository. So I can run that earlier command, which is for us to add this repository there, and it will do that. So if I want to check now, I can do git whoa. Well, you know why I said that? When I said that law of use and disuse, it's been a while that I run all these commands, so I started to forget them. But anyways, you know that you have the repo there. Check. Yes, I remember. So it's git remote is -v, then you see it there like that. So you have to fetch and push access for that remote, for that repo. So you can go back and let's deal with the other commands. So now I can start running git things, and you can see that the color here has changed to green. Green meaning that these files that I have here, they are just here. I have not added them to git. That's just what it means. So what I'm doing now is a git crash kind of course. Just bear with me and maybe go over this video one more time if you have the time. Now, I have these files here slighted in green, which means they have not been added to Git, but Git recognize them, that they are recognize their presence, so to speak. So one other thing I want to touch on before we move on is that there's a file here that we are not supposed to be pushing to repository, to anything. That's because that file is usually heavy, it's usually big, and frankly speaking, nobody needs it unless you want to run your code. And if you want to run your code, you can run a command that will bring it back to your code. And this is node modules. You should not be pushing node modules to anywhere. If I go to this place and I check the size file, the size of this file, we don't have much of dependencies, but you will still see that it's still kind of heavy. This is 50 something MB and it's still going. That's 58 MB, close to 60 MB. It's big. If your project is huge, maybe you have a lot of dependencies that you have downloaded. This can span up to maybe like 500 MB, right? So there's no point pushing this. And how do you stop yourself from pushing something to GitHub, to your remote repository? By adding a git ignore file. By adding that file to your git ignore file. So you create a git ignore file. So you can create a file, a new file, and name it .git ignore, like this, .git ignore. You can see that once I finish writing it, it already gives it an icon of Git. It understands what it is. But this should be in the base of your repository, your directory. So I'm going to move it to the base. Hold on. Cancel. The way I usually do this, I don't do this here. Let me move it to the base. Okay. All right. So if I close up this one, you see that it's at the same level with everybody. That's where it should be. This is one way to create it. If you are using Git Bash or you are using Linux based, I'm going to delete it and create it another way. Or you're using a Linux based CLI, that's command line. I'm using a Linux based CLI, that's the Git Bash. Then you can use a command called touch. I like to do this because it will guarantee that I'm on the base, the root folder of my directory. So I can do touch.get ignore. It will do the same thing. Okay. As you can see, it's there. So what you want to do is that right click on these node modules, click on cooperative path, and just paste it inside here. Okay. Once you paste it inside here and you move out, you will see that every other thing is green, but node modules is grayed out, meaning that it's not going to be added when you try to add anything to your Git repository and push. It's not going to be added. It's important for you to do this because if you don't, your project folder will be so heavy that most people will not be able to work with it. Okay. If they download it, if someone wants to work with you and they download your repository, they can easily just write git install. Once they write git install, it will bring these node modules to their project and it's going to install everything there because you have package.log.json, which has a record of all the dependencies. So it's going to download them all over again for them. Okay. All right. So that's that. Let's go ahead and push this to our repo. So we can do git add. We can do something like git add. That's now we are adding to the staging environment. Staging. It's not staging. To the they usually call it staging. You are adding it to where you want to. You are prepared. You have a space when you're about to push everything to GitHub, like your repository. You have a space where you collect all the files that you are preparing to push. That's the staging. That's the staging part. So if I do git add, if I want to add a single file or single folder, I can put relative path of that file after this git add. Let's say I want to add this Cypress or config.js. I can right click on it, copy the relative path, then paste it here, and then I can press enter, and it has added it. If I want to know if it has added it, I can do git status to check it. So you can git status. And then if I press enter, it's going to tell me all the files that I have in my directory, the ones that are ready to push to the to your repo, and the ones that you have not added. And you can see the new file, cypress.config.js, is on stage. And that's why I say that if I want to remove it from stage, I can use this command to unstage it. Okay, the rest have not been added, and that's the reason why you are seeing them in red. And as you can see, node modules is not part of them because we are ignoring it. Okay, so, but it might be tedious, especially if you have a lot of files and folder to add. If to be doing it one after the other, there's a command that you can use to add everything at once. And one more file I want to ignore is this Allure results. I don't want to push it. So I can also right click on it, cooperative path, go to the next line and paste it here. And once I do that, it's going to ignore it also. So if I run that git status again, you will see that Allure reports results will not be there anymore. We have totally ignored it. Now, to add the rest of the files and folder without adding them one after the other, you can do get add, then you put dot, period, and then press enter, and it's going to add everything for you. So let me clear the screen and then do git status again. And then you will see that everything has been added. Has been added. You will see that there are much more than what you are looking at here, just because some of these files, some of these are folders that has things inside of them. And that's the reason why you have them like this. So everything has been added to our staging area. It's just for us now to push. So let's see how we can push here. So let's create our main branch first. So we can do get branch. This one, you just have to run it once, right? Dash capital N. Okay. If I press enter, okay, yeah, sorry. Main. If I press enter, then it will not really do anything because I have Git or Git installed. It has already named the name of the branch as main. And you can only see the name of the branch you are currently in as main when you are using Git bash. If I'm on PowerShell, for instance, I would not see the name of the branch there. You can see that. But if I want to check it, I can check it as Git branch. I can write Git branch and then press enter. Normally, it will bring out the branch that I am for you. But that's because I've not pushed anything. So please stay with me. This is main. We are now inside main. And now we've added. The next thing we want to do is commit. Okay. So once you do commit, you have stamped your staging area. All the files have been stamped. They have been grouped. They will now have a commit message. They will now have a commit stamp. That stamp is like the hash. That's the distinct alphanumeric numbers that is assigned to that commit, that specific commit. You remember I said that you can go back in time. You can go back in time to check out the status of your file as at maybe yesterday. That commit is what is being used to differentiate. So you can go back to a commit at that particular point in time. Whatever you have on your folder, your directories and everything will be the same, will be stamped. So you can go back to it anytime. So if I do git commit, then -n, meaning that I want to add a message to it. And the message will be inside a quote. The message will be inside a quote, and I can say initial comments. I'm just putting it like that. You can write anything you want to it. Close the comment. Close the what's it called? The parentheses, the quotes, sorry. And then once I press enter, it's going to stamp them. And you can see that now nothing is green here anymore. Because now you can say that you have committed something. You have committed a you have now moved from the staging area to the commit area, which means that you have stamped it. So from here now, if I write something like get log, for instance, and I press enter, you will see that this is the log, and then this is the commit message, the date and time that I committed it, who committed it, and then there's a hash here. This hash is what you can use to go back to the current stuff, to the current folder. Okay. So now the next thing we want to do is push. And how do you do that? You write git push. Okay. Okay, let's do this. If I write git push alone, it will correct me and ask me to write the correct command, telling me that this branch does not exist on your remote repository. Because if you look at what we have here, we don't have anything. It's just blank. It's just there's nothing there. All right. So for us to push there, we need to have a branch. All right. And we don't have anything here. And the way to specify that, okay, we don't have, but please create this branch for me on the remote end of things, is to write this command, which is git push. Okay. And you can do dash set dash up stream, then origin, then the name of the branch main. You can do this, and you can also do the shorthand of it, which is instead of set upstream, you can do -u origin main. Okay, this is the same thing as this guy up here. All right, so I'm going to press this, and then you will see some things happen.
And that origin is missing high.
That's because my command is wrong. Instead of origin, I omitted I here. So I'm going to press enter, and it's going to push for me. Okay. And you can see it created a new branch for me. Main to main. That is, I have a main folder, a main branch on local here. 1 second, please. Okay, so main to main, meaning main here on our local, it has been pushed to the main branch in the remote repository. Let's go back to the remote repository and let's refresh this. I'm going to refresh this page and you are going to see the files there. Okay, so you see, these are the files that we pushed. They are now in our remote repository. As it is now, if I give you this URL now, you should be able, I've pasted it inside the chat. You should be able to see this file, but as at now, it's going to show you error 404, not found. And the reason is because we are still in private mode. Can anybody click on the link that I just dropped on the chat and confirm that it's not able to access anything? Okay, while someone is doing that, once anybody does that, they can just let me know. You will see if I click on this branch, I only have a single branch there, which is main. Okay, and it says I created it 1 minute ago. All right, so this is how to push your work to Git. And as it is now, if I change this to either a public repo, or I add someone to this repo, they'll be able to access all that I've done. And if they want to get the latest update, all you have to do is git pull, and they'll be able to get the latest thing that I've done. Now I'll show you how to do that, but I will just do something now. Let's see, right? I want to add another file here, but I'm adding it on the remote end of things. And I come here and add a README file. Once I click on add a README file, it's going to add a README file, and I can say that source lab. Yeah, so that's what you get. You get a 404. I see it. Olufemi. Source labs, websites, automation. Now, and to save the change, I'm going to click on commit changes, and then it will give me it. They are using AI too. It will give me like a description for it, and I'm going to just accept everything that is given to me and then commit changes. So if I go back here, you will see that a file now is created called readme.md file. But if I go to my local, it is not there. There's no readme.md here. For me to get the latest update from this branch, this main, because these changes that I made on the remote end is made on the main branch. I'm on the main branch here. For me to get the latest one, the latest updates, I have to do something called git pull. Now, git pull is a combination of two commands. Okay, it's a combination of two commands, that is git fetch and git merge. So if you want to do one by one, you can do one by one. But if you do git pull, it's going to do the two for you. Just assuming that there's no conflict between the two branches, between the two branches, because there are two branches actually. No. They will not be able to access it because I'm answering what is going on the chat right now. They will not be able to access is Germain, and the reason is that the repository is a private repository until maybe I change it to a public repository, or I had them. Anybody that is using GitHub, I had their GitHub account as a contributor on that repo. They will not be able to access it. It will always be showing 404. Okay. So, like I was saying, this is git pull is a combination of fetch and merge. Fetch is that you first fetch the difference between, they call it delta, the difference between what I have on my local and what is on the repository on the remote end, and then compare. It will bring it to me. And then for me to now merge it to what I have on my local, I will now do git merge. All right. But I want to do it shortcuts. I want to write one command for it. It will fetch it. It will fetch it and then it will merge it all at once. So I'm doing git pull. And once I do this, you will see that readme.md will come here. You see that? I now have it. And you can see from the message here that it's fast forward and it has updated. And you can see that look at this number here. It's the first 7 digits of that commit that I first did. Okay. And then because I've committed on the repo also, it now has a new commit hash, which is this. So if I go back to local, you will see that it's saying that the latest one that I have now is this. The one that I have there before was this. If I do git log, you will see both of them. Okay. You see both commits. So you can see it now. This is the first one that we did. This is the first one that we did. I will call it initial commit, and it was done on the 19th on today at 7:41. The next one that we did was on the remote end, and this is the commit message that was there that I said that I just accepted. Okay, and it was 7:48. So you can see that. You can see how people can use this to collaborate. If someone else have access to this repo now, and I push something there, all you have to do is do git pull, and they will have all the changes that I just made. Okay. So for the sake of because we have a rather large class, not large that way, but I don't want to go through the hassle of asking for everybody's GitHub repo and adding them to the private repo. I'll just make this repo a public one. But if you however you're working with a private repo and you want to add someone to it, you can click on the settings here and you will see collaborators on this side, collaborators here. So if you click on collaborators, you can add people to this and then look for them here. Okay. Once you start typing, it will bring in similar names for you until you see the ones that you want. Once you get them, you can add them, and then they will receive an email on their registered email accounts, and then they can accept the invitation. Once they accept the invitation, then they'll be able to access the repo. But now I'm going to come here to excuse me, manage visibility, right? And once I do that, I can come down here and change visibility and click change to public. It's going to It's going to warn me for a lot of things. So now, if you try to access this repo again, you should be able to see. You should be able to see it. It will not give you 404 anymore. All right, that's GitHub. I'm supposed to treat. It's just like just let's say short introduction to Git and GitHub. Someone's hand is up. I didn't get.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I have a question regarding this
Sorry, I can't hear
GitHub.
you. Can anybody hear? I can see a mic moving.
Is it better now?
Oh, hang on, let me check on something.
I can hear you.
Mr. Ridwan, Mr. Wade, can you hear me now?
Hello? Please.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you. I have a question regarding this the GitHub. Okay, at first you said mostly depending on the types of projects we are working on, that it is always advisable not to push the node module to GitHub.
Yeah.
But my question is, if you are not writing a YML file on the GitHub action, if you want to integrate with your CI/CD, does that mean that GitHub action does not require the node modules before it can perform? Because I know the GitHub action of a thing is sometimes tricky. That what is not needed on your local, by the time you don't want to do the CI/CD pipeline for it to start raising some kind of errors, raising some kind of issues. So does that mean the GitHub Actions or any other pipeline we might want to use or integrate with does not require the node module?
No. So even if you require a node module on your CI/CD, one of the first command that you should run on your CI/CD is git init. Once you do that, the environment of that git of that what's it called, the CI/CD, will download everything that you will need and will create a node module file on its own environment. And if it's required, if anything is required, they can always fetch it there. So that's why I said that when someone downloads your work, like it is right now, if you guys want to run the Cypress that we have here, and you do git clone, and you clone the repository, the command that you should first run is git init. I mean, sorry, you do git init, of course, but it's already initialized. The first thing that you should do is git install. Once you do git install, npm will look into your lock.json, packet lock.json, will find all the dependencies, and then will download it, create a node modules for you on your local, download everything there so that your project will run smoothly without any issue. The same thing applies when you are working with a CI/CD tool. It will also download that for you, and you can use it anywhere.
Okay. So the second one was on the commit aspect of a thing. Because I noticed that most time if I want to do a rollback, I just do the rollback of the previous commit I just did. Is there a way you can go as far back? Let me say you want to do a rollback of maybe November 18 of this year. Is there a way you can go as far back to do a rollback of that one instead of just doing the previous rollback of the recent commit you just did?
Yes, now. Yes.
How is it by using that Git log and picking the unique ID, or how can someone do that?
There are several ways, but the easiest way is for you to look at your commit history by using git log. Then you can copy the first 7 digits.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Once you copy the first 7 digits, you can then do git checkout, then put the 7 digits. Once I press enter, it will go there.
Okay.
It has already gone there as it is.
As it is. Okay.
Yes.
So my last question is actually based on our last week class, because I know you mentioned something on these different types of function, the arrow function and also the general function. So there's something I noticed when I was going through the Cypress. I noticed that there are some commands that mostly if you want to do the chai attraction of a thing, there are some commands that used to fail. That if you are running the arrow function, it will fail until you change it to the hold function, which is the normal we will write that function. Is there a reason for that? And is there something that someone can look ahead of to know that oh, this type of function is what that will work for this type of assertion, or this type of function is one that will work for this type of code you are writing?
So um so it should not fail, really. Both of them are basically the same thing, but arrow function has more usage, and I think I explained that it has an explicit return. If you don't ask it to return something, if you want it to return anything, you don't have to write return there explicitly. It will return
Mm.
something. Both of them are the same. The only weird thing that happens with Cypress is that if you are using fixture in Cypress, I don't know
Mm.
if that has been corrected, but I don't think it has been corrected. If you are using fixture and you have something like this, you are still seeing my screen. If you have something
Yeah,
like this, anywhere that are using fixture like this, it has to be the hold function thing.
the whole
And if you're
function.
using it inside of any of the it block, it has to be a function like this, not an arrow function. So because
Oh.
I'm using the fixture to get the invalid username and invalid password. Anyway, I'm using it, it has to be
Mm-mm.
like this.
The whole function type of way.
Yeah. But
Oh.
generally speaking, it's the same.
Okay, okay. So I think that was the issue I was having because I noticed that I was using the feature is one of the its block statements, and I was making use of the arrow function, and sometimes I'll be getting this type of funny error cannot read property until I change the function to a generic function.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So
I'm
once
sorry,
again,
Mr. Wale. Before you continue, sorry. I just want to. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, I just want to chip into what Adenike just mentioned. I think I was having that same issue with the arrow function and the generic function the old way. So now I'm using Cypress 15 point the recent one. That's the latest Cypress. And since then I've been using arrow function. So I don't have issue with the old function again. So and I use fixture in my code and I don't have any issue. So I think maybe you should check the version of your Cypress. Like you said, Mr. Wale, that they are still working on they are trying to upgrade it, but at the moment I'm using the latest version. So I've been using arrow function on all my codes and everything is working well.
Okay, so maybe hopefully they've already resolved the issue on the latest version of the
Yeah, I think
Cypress.
so. I think so.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, cool. This I'm going to stop here for now, right? The one thing that we have not touched right now is the CI/CD part, which is where we are going to be using workflow, GitHub Actions. I'll do that the next time alongside Cypress MCP. Okay. All right. Thank you. Melanike, you can take it from here.
Mr. Wiley, sorry, can we run the code directly from GitHub? Can we run code directly from there?
From where?
From GitHub? Like this particular one that you shared with us now. Can I run it directly from
No,
GitHub?
no, you cannot. Unless
Oh,
you are using GitHub Actions. That's the CI/CD part of GitHub, and that's what I said. Let's take a look.
all right.
And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I have to go now. We'll see again next time. All right. Please make sure you practice. Just go over what we've done today and
Mr. Wale,
make
please,
sure you practice.
what's your LinkedIn profile handle, please?
Thank you, Wale.
Thank you, Mr. Wale.
All right. See you guys next week by Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.